Hi. We're here. Hello. We're back with another episode of the Just Gaming Tingz podcast. Aren't you so happy to see slash hear us? Oh my god. Here we are,
Imagine.
bringing you an all queer perspective on video games, gaming things, and nerdy things. All the things with a Z at the end, because that's what we do. I am Ruby. I am joined by these delightful people that you can see on screen. If you can see them on screen, you're probably listening to the show. So why don't we introduce ourselves right now? So, hi, Dex. Hello. Welcome back.
Hi, I'm here. Hello.
Yes, happy Saturday. I almost said Friday for some reason. It's not Friday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hi, Koga.
Hello, I'm back. I think I was gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I had to take off last week because I had a swollen jaw, and that was not fun.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Yeah, but I'm here again.
Yes.
Glad to have you back.
Absolutely. And who's this mysterious voice telling Koga that it's nice for him to be back?
Oh my god. What if it was Finland? Could you imagine?
I not only can I imagine, I can also see it and hear it. Can you
Oh
can
my
you
God.
believe?
Can you even believe? Hello, I'm here.
We're real. We're real people on a real
We
podcast.
are.
You're not dreaming. You're not having an hallucination in the middle of the highway. I promise you.
Not the
In the highway.
Yeah, people are driving, listening to podcasts.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not I guess so. Oh yeah.
I just can't imagine people driving because I'm a gay who can't drive.
Well,
Oh,
that sounds like a you thing.
oh,
Sounds like a you problem.
You know what?
Um,
Let's see you
Public
drive, Ruby.
well, you
Could you drive us to the
see,
next topic?
I also happen to
here
be
we
a
go.
gay who can't drive.
Oh,
Well, okay, I
interesting.
can drive. I choose not to because anxiety. So you know, we love to see it. But yes,
love to see anxiety.
no, we don't. I guess love to see a relatable icon such as me.
I see. Mhm.
Okay.
Anyway, well,
Let's do a podcast.
listen, the podcast has been happening. This is nothing new. People already know. We clown for the first few minutes of the podcast. It's okay. It's
The clown
normal.
segment. Just
Yeah.
clown and Tingz.
Yep.
Absolutely. There's timestamps. You can click on those if you want to skip ahead. Just not hear us babble on about things that you don't care about. Let's get on to just headlining things where we talk about the news of the week and such. You know who's
Yeah.
not an iconic, relatable icon? Neither Epic Games nor Apple. Let me tell you. Neither of them. But we have something to report on their feud, don't we?
Me too.
You.
Well, who's gonna get into it?
I thought you brought up the topic.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Not Ruby.
Just kidding. Take two. Oh my god, I brought up this topic, and so I'm so excited to bring it up in this conversation with my favorite friends here today. Hello, hi. Did you know that Epic Games and Apple were fighting in court?
Much like we're fighting right now. We've created a weird antagonistic energy in the studio today.
Honestly, if we had an
Tell
actual
us about-
studio, doors will
about
be
it.
slammed, things would be
Right.
thrown across the room. Well,
Why did you tell us about it, Ruby?
I'm trying, but someone, a certain newly bald, is trying to dethrone me and ruin my career.
Oh, Ruby's gonna go bald now.
Well, listen, I'm in my
Screaming.
late 20s. I'm balding already. Listen, it happens. My hairline is slowly but surely saying goodbye, flop. But anyway, that's not what we're fighting about.
Uh,
Okay, so a long time ago, Epic, what feels like decades ago, Epic and
I believe it was just
Apple.
last year.
Yeah, yeah, but
Was?
2020, 2021 has been a weird time loop where nothing makes
Yeah.
sense. So it just feels like we're stuck in a vortex where big corporations are fighting and people are taking sides as if either of them are the small guy,
Right. Like,
the local shop. Um, but yes, Apple basically kicked Fortnite out of their store in 2020 because Epic was trying to circumvent their in-app purchase system. So like basically the money would go straight to Epic instead of Apple. And Apple said, not on my watch. And then Epic said, well, I have the time and the money, so let's go to court, bitch. So they did. And basically the latest update from it is that basically they're changing the like percentage that people have to give to Epic, um, but also um, it's been allowed that people in the basically if you have an app in the Apple store, you can now circumvent the system and not have it so that purchases in the app have to go through the Apple store. So that's kind of fierce. But then again, who's really winning from this? Like, is this really like a huge victory royale from
I don't
Epic
know.
because Fortnite?
Get out.
No, I like it here. I don't want to go. What do y'all think?
oh my god. I thought that was so funny how people were like you're not on the payroll. Like just like taking sides in this fight. Like they have a dog in this race. It's like these are big corporations. Like either
Yeah.
way, this is
Yeah.
like a fight between big corporations doing big corporation stuff. Like you're not involved.
It's not like a little girly fighting Nintendo or something.
Yeah.
It's fully like two big ass, annoying ass corporations just fighting at each other. For what? Like,
Right.
For more
The
money.
the thing that I
literally.
think is interesting about this though is that like this sets like a legal precedent for apps to be able to do microtransactions without going through the app store basically.
Yeah,
So I think this is going to be interesting for like indie mobile game developers
yeah.
in the future because like that opens things up for everybody, not just Epic.
The thing is, like, I don't really see a lot of indies having a ton of microtransactions. Like, you would think that, like,
True.
an indie company needs more money, therefore they're charging for, like, all the things. But oftentimes it's the big corporations where, like, yeah, do you want to pay for, like, every single, like, a costume for every single of your characters? Do you want to pay for different weapons? Do you want to pay for all of these things? Alternative storylines? Like, do you want to pay for all of the things? Oftentimes like the indie devs just give you everything with one purchase and like
Right.
free updates and all that. It's like um it's wild. The funny thing to me though is like even though it's kind of a victory, it kind of isn't because they still have to pay what they owe from like the time that they circumvented the app for people to make purchases. So it's at the end of the day like neither one of them kind of won. It's like Epic still had to pay what they did wrong during that time, and Apple now is like moving forward. I guess things are going to change slightly, but for them, is it really going to matter that much? I don't think so. Well,
Uh,
Yeah.
so I guess they're still able to put Fortnite on and charge for V-Bucks or whatever.
yeah,
I guess I guess that's what they would want. I mean, I guess it makes it easier for other people because I know Apple was pretty anal about like other companies doing things like that. Like heck, they didn't even want like Microsoft putting Game Pass on their thing, and Microsoft just went around and said, "All right, we just go to the browser instead."
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's I mean, it's like y'all was saying, it's just two big companies fighting, and it's like, okay, whatever. But I mean, if it can make it easier for like other developers to do something on there, I mean, that's great. I mean, that'd be nice. I mean, unfortunately, I won't see it because I'm an Android man. I don't have an Apple phone or an iPhone around here. But yeah, but great for everybody else.
I guess like one of the one of the takeaways of this is
Dex
I guess Fortnite can
acting
go
like
back
a
to
gay
the App
Power
Store
Ranger
now.
on screen for 2 minutes. We love to see it.
Here's my iPhone. iPhone 6S.
Oh my god, I'm yelling. But yeah, like, does this mean that Fortnite can go back to the App Store? Like,
Assuming
Is it
that
back on
they
the App Store?
assuming that they pay them back, I think so. Like I think that's the thing.
That
It's like
makes
you
sense.
have to pay back what you owe them. And then it's coming back. Although it probably came back earlier than this, but I don't know.
Mhm.
Listen, this legal battle between these two gigantic corporations is something that I don't actively keep up with, like all the little details of it. But I did think it was pretty relevant to bring this specific one up because I think it could
the
impact.
Android user. I don't know about the App
Yeah,
Store.
when
Yeah, it's not there.
when
Just
3/4 of
wanted
the
to make sure.
podcast today are Android users, so we're like, I don't know, is it?
I mean, I'm on Android. We don't have these problems.
Right.
Dex, our field correspondent, looking into the App Store right now,
Yes, that was
reporting
me.
the details.
Reporting that the first thing I looked up for Fortnite happened to be TikTok. For whatever reason, was the first search
Well.
results. That was
Uh,
cute.
Oh yeah, because Fortnite stole TikTok dances. Has stolen in the
oh yeah.
past. That's why
They
it's like
did.
connected. Yeah. Without giving credit to like any of the original creators, which sounds about right. The funny thing to me here is like Epic just fully went head to head against Apple, but like it's like Google does literally the same thing where like you have to give them a certain percentage. All the purchases are through their app store. So it's like it just seems to be like it's an ego thing almost. It's like Apple was like, "No, you can't do this." And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll see about that." And then Google is like, "Well, we do it." Like anyone, like a lot of people that watch streams on Twitch, such as ours, um, they know that oftentimes in the mobile versions of the app, it's actually more expensive to subscribe to people, to do all these things, because the apps do take a percentage from the earnings, and a lot of the times the way to circumvent that is to make things slightly more expensive than like in a browser version. So I can see how it could be frustrating, but it's funny to me that Google is like on the side looking like, we're still we still haven't changed the thing. Sorry to that man. Well, that's that on that.
We want to get into our next one.
Should we quickly move on to our next story? Should we go fast towards our next story?
Yeah.
Dex is gonna be the death glare.
This one is a bit of a doozy. All right, so Sonic Colors Ultimate came out. Well, it officially came out like this past Tuesday, but if you pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition or whatever the heck, that was like $5 more. You got to play it like last Friday, and it has been kind of a catastrophe. Well, if you're playing on the Switch, it's a total catastrophe. If you're playing on other things, it just depends on what it is you want. I've been playing on PC. It has been smooth. But on the Switch, it's actually pretty god awful. So there's been quite a few glitches, and one of the glitches actually can, potentially cause seizures. Now, the thing is about this glitch is that you kind of have to do something, like go out of your way a little bit to do it, but someone did casually come across it. It's triggered by you going into you have like the area, the levels, and there's the map, and then you go back out to like the area that shows the rest of the planets. If you do that, I guess about 4 or 5 times back to back, you go into then you go into a level, it can just completely glitch out. And it just causes and depending on the level, I think it causes like a bunch of issues that could be, that can cause seizures. Sonic's model changing into like one of the wisps out of nowhere. The screen just be looking like garble. I have no idea how that passed QA. I mean, again, you do have to do something to do that, but I mean that can be a thing if you're just trying to maybe like figure out which level to tackle first. If you're trying to get all the red coins to unlock everything. So that's not the only. That's like the biggest issue. But another issue is just like glitches to where I think on the Switch, like I've seen him like fall like through a level or something. No, there's a bit of frame rate issues and things like that. There were okay, so I don't know why this 17-year-old boy decided to do this, but he showed off some glitches on an emulator, uploaded it, and thought that this was a good idea. Like he was not gonna get clowned on Twitter. I'm not for harassment, but that clowning that you received, I did enjoy watching it. And I hope Nintendo comes at you for that, because you just ruined a whole lot of. You just gave like Nintendo a bunch of leverage that they would need, because they don't like emulators. They hate it. And the last thing you want it to be is, all right, so someone who used the emulator showed off some glitches and now it can affect our sales. Luckily, most of these glitches were like you can play like right off of the thing. Now the thing is, like on like PlayStation and Xbox and PC, it's not like this. There is, of course, still some glitches here and there. Frame rate issues. I know on like the base like last gen consoles, like I'm going to be honest, last gen consoles don't perform that great either. The frame rate like fluctuates on some of them. But like if you're playing it like if you're one of the few people that has like a PlayStation 5 or one of the new Xboxes or a PC, for what I've seen, the experience has been a lot smoother. Not 100% perfect. Like one time I started the game and the music to the title screen didn't even start. But it's usually just something like that. But in terms of performance, it's a lot better. They have announced that there's going to be a patch coming in the future. So I guess everyone who was talking about, well, the day one patch, it's the weekend and it's still a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. I don't know. It's just unfortunate because the game is a lot of fun. I've had a very good experience. So like all this like stuff that's come out of this is not something that I've had to deal with. But I will say for sure that if you're on the Switch, avoid it. And if you already bought it, well, sorry. But hopefully they do fix it, and I would recommend waiting until then. But outside of that, the game it's fun. It's a good game. It's very fun to play. It's just I don't see how that they managed to mess it up as much on the Switch. Now I forgot the name of the developers, but I know they are responsible for the Switch version of WWE 2K18, and that was a mess. That was actually really bad, and it's the same people who did
Not
that.
them doing WWE and then Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Yeah, like they did. I think they did fine on like the console. I mean, kind of. I mean, I don't know. For my standard, I don't think the base console versions are like where they should be. Because for a game like this, if you have a target frame rate of 30 or 60, that's what it should be able to hit. This game, I mean, it is in like a new engine though, but it's not like a next gen title. So there's no reason for it to have as many issues, in my opinion, as it's having. Even on the Switch, it's like if you're playing on it docked, it's like 900p. If you're playing just the handheld, it's at like 600, so it's not even 720p. And at times it can't even keep up with 30 frames per second. And then the load time is actually worse than the Wii version. So it's like to get like an experience that I feel was less where it's like without a good portion of these issues, you have to have one of the next gen consoles, which have fun with that, or a PC, which have a lot of fun with that, which you should. But I just don't feel that this was released in satisfactory overall, in my opinion, because it's like for it to be as many issues as it's having and just stability issues, it shouldn't have came out like this. And at first, it was just a thought of maybe it was okay. It was an early access issue, which I have an issue with early access games that come out a mess. Like your day one should be the day one that the early access is available, not 3 days later where now it's fixed. But we're like few days. What came out Tuesday? I'm not about to. I could easily count those days, but I don't feel like it. Okay, sorry, but it's still having issues. So there is a patch coming at least, so it's not like they were silent about it or anything like that. This a patch was mentioned like back on September the 5th, so at least they're aware of it. But y'all maybe should have delayed it a month.
Yeah.
It would have been okay.
Because it's like the thing with early access, like I expect it to be early access, not like, oh, like you can blink and the game's out like after you play early access. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like
Right.
because then people would really be like that. They'd be like, oh, it's only early access. That's not the final game. But it's like y'all realize it's coming out like in a couple days.
Like 3 days.
Literally. So it's just like I don't understand why people are just like so quick to be like defensive when it's like logistically like they should have the game done where early access is the game and they'll just like release it later for everybody else like on the given day if they didn't pre-order it. But all I'm gonna say is that they should just remove the Switch permanently. Just off it all, cut it off, destroy it. Because they cannot do any of this well all the fucking time. So unless Nintendo does better,
It's not even it's not even a Switch issue. It's the developer's issue. Like I honestly feel there's no reason for this to not be able to run on the Switch. I mean, I can crack jokes on the Switch and how underpowered it is, but for a game like this, there's no reason for it to at least be able to run at least at a consistent 30 frames without all these issues.
Right.
Like that's just them not. I don't know if it's having enough time or what the issue is, but that's more on like development side and actually for once not on Nintendo side.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's still having issues on like placed on Xbox Series X, like Xbox Series, not a Series X. Oh God. Okay, y'all are right.
Series
there are too many
S?
Xboxes. I'm sorry.
there's
The
too
Xbox-
many.
So the Xbox One X, even
Okay.
on that, it has issues. On PlayStation 4 Pro, it still does. It's just stability, like the frame rate. It'll fluctuate because it aims on PlayStation 4 Pro. It aims for 1440p, 60 frames per second. It is not keeping that 60 frames per second the entire time. There's no reason for that to be an issue on that thing. Xbox One X, same issue, except they aim for 4K, and so it fluctuates even more. So I don't know. I honestly can't say it's a Switch issue, on at least for this one time. It's just that they just really y'all messed it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate because like you have people like me and like a few others who are like enjoying it. We're like people are like upset, and we're kind of like, what's going on? Oh, well, that's not our experience, but. Like if you're getting it on PC, I mean it's a PC, so there may be an issue here and there, but it's been like a lot smoother on PC, like a lot. Like we finally have 144 hertz that we can play at on these damn games. Great, but I don't know. I don't get what happened.
Yeah. I don't know how Sega, like, after... I would say after 06, but after Sonic Boom, even... Like, they don't just have, like, the biggest fucking megaphone at, like, anyone responsible for any Sonic-related property. Even if it's not them who are necessarily developing, like, a remaster or whatever. But, like, a huge fucking megaphone being like, hey, please take your time. Don't rush this. We need this to be good. Like, I don't know how, like, that's not the thing on their mind. And I need the marketing expert who didn't listen to the QA team and decided to be like, play the game before the patch. Play it early. And it being that messy, I need that person fired.
Literally.
I need death to all of them. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you don't do that. Like, I know for a fact that a lot of people are like, where was the QA team? Where was the QA team? I just know that in all of those circumstances, the QA team is like screaming at everyone, like, here are the issues, please listen to us. And they're like, but which one of those is a big deal? Which one of those can we fix in like a week?
Right.
So it's like,
We're going to release the game now, right? It's fine.
they're like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. The person managing the project said that it's coming out in a week, so we pretend not to see it. I'm so sorry about it. I do feel bad for that team because, like, with the footage on, like, the emulator and, like, all that stuff, it made it difficult for them to be like, okay, what is an actual glitch that's actually happening versus something on an emulator. So I do feel bad for them on that end, but I mean, plenty of other outlets have kind of emulated, if you will, the issues on like through legitimate ways, and they still found the same glitches and stuff like that. So yeah, it sucks because as someone who genuinely likes Sonic as like a concept, it always sucks seeing a situation like this where it's like, damn, like y'all are really making it hard for me to defend you. Because it's like, I can't defend you, and then it's like, oh, Sonic Forces is out, and it's like, oh, or like, I love Sonic, and then it's like Sonic Boom or this. I'm just like, no.
Sonic can't catch a break.
I know. We pretend not to see everything except for Sonic Mania.
And the Sonic Boom show.
The
show was actually kind of funny.
Oh, was it?
At least out of all the out of context clips I've seen of it, it's like they're very aware. Let's just say that.
Oh,
in the
that's
show.
nice.
So that's really funny.
Well,
yeah,
they should
like,
probably go through the route of like, they were like, Sonic Mania worked because fans were invested and they made the game. So like, just like be on the lookout for like fan made games and be like, hello, here's money,
yeah.
do it. Like, you're doing
Right.
amazing, sweetie. Just
Yeah.
develop this game, because there's people who are like have developed like patches for like Sonic 06 and shit like that, and like they kind of like have concepts out there of like a Sonic Adventure remake and shit like that. Like, just like look those up and be like, let me hire the best ones to work on this.
Mhm.
But yeah, you were saying
Yeah.
something.
Absolutely. I don't know. It's wild to me that like Sonic is kind of known for like releasing buggy glitchy messes now. Like that's what Sonic is kind
That's
of
the
known
legacy.
for. And it just keeps happening. And like with something like this, especially, like with the glitch that could potentially cause seizures, like you do have to kind of like manipulate it to happen, but I can see like people doing it on accident. Like I can
Mhm.
see a situation where somebody could just like make that happen on accident, and it's just like, and then we keep getting into this like debate whenever there's like a thing in a video game that causes seizures, where people are just like, oh, if you have epilepsy, don't play video games, and it's like, no.
That's not how that works.
No. What if we
unless we're in the 90s.
just make video games that are, safe for everyone to play?
Right.
What if we let people enjoy things regardless of their medical condition? What if we were just like, hey, you don't have to have your hobbies like affected by your medical conditions? What if we just made things accessible instead? Because it's like, we can. Like, you can make video games that are safe for people with epilepsy, but like the vast majority of video games are fine. And it's just like there's like these very specific instances, and then people always want to point to like, oh, it says like on the like warning, like if you're photosensitive or have epilepsy, like maybe don't play this game. And it's like, is that really what we're gonna do? Is that the solution instead of
Is
fixing
that
the
the hill you
game?
want to
Just
die on?
right. Right. And that is always so wild to me, like that so many people are willing to die on this very specific hill of like not wanting people with epilepsy to enjoy video games.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we've,
like-
Yeah.
Because
we've seen it several times just in the run of this podcast.
Right.
What were you saying?
Yeah, because I would think is like if what reason would it be for it to remain there? Like one thing I've noticed since like like about late 90s and 2000s how this has tried to change, because beforehand it was kind of ridiculous. Like I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea how anyone with epilepsy was playing video games in the 80s and the 90s. Because every time I turn around and I'm watching some old school stuff, it's the screen is just flashing. Like I was watching someone play X-Men versus Street Fighter earlier. Like, have you seen Gambit do a royal flush in that game and how it just rapidly flashes? And it's like that was just such a thing back then. And like for now is like, I mean, obviously it's going to cause issues, but I'm like, if you're going to put that in there, I mean, I don't think it's really necessary. But like, what type of effect or something, or like, what are you trying to obtain by doing so? If it's, and I don't know what that answer would be. I mean, does certain things, I mean, I can say for sure that certain things in the 90s definitely looked cool when things were flashing. So I get why they did it, but it's just that how dangerous it is for like certain people. And there was no warnings back then. It just happened. So it's like, I don't know. I think personally, I would prefer this to not be so that people can enjoy it because, I mean, we're not talking about something, I mean, we're talking about something that actually affects people's, health and their well being. And that's not something I think we should be arguing about, like, or having to argue about, like, putting it in the game or not. It's like, yeah, these actually negatively affect people and their health.
Because, like, how does it positively affect you if you
Yeah.
aren't in it? Like, it's
Right.
not helping you with something in your life. So, like,
Yeah.
why is removing it hurting you if it has no benefit to you?
Right. There's like a weird subsection of the internet that has this thing where they think that any warnings, any updates, anything like that is like censorship, and it's like somehow like taking away from the creator's original concept or from what they wanted to do or whatever, because like there was even kind of a thing that kind of actually happened on our comment section a while ago when we were talking about content warnings, and people were, and I've seen that on social media as well, that kind of commentary where it's like, oh, you don't have to play it, or like people don't need to change the concept or the content of the game in order for more people to play it. And it's like, you don't have to, but you can give people option to either opt out of it or to make changes that like change the game so that it doesn't impact them. Like there's specific, I'll get into it later on what we're playing, but I started playing Life is Strange 2, and they actually have some like accessibility features that I did turn on stream, because flashing and all that stuff doesn't really bother me. But I wasn't just streaming for myself; I was streaming and other people were watching. So they have a feature where before like a big like loud sound happens or before a big flash happens, they actually warn you, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to turn down your like brightness, or do you want to change your settings?" Anything like that. And with that, I just give people a warning because I'm like, we're not going to change the settings like super often. So I'm just like, hey, there's a thing happening, and that's, I wouldn't say like good enough because I don't like I like saying it like that, but that's an option, and people just want options. People just want to know what's up. They don't want to like play a game and just be like, oh, okay, I guess I'm having a seizure now because I didn't get a warning. So yeah, that's totally it. I think with the way the technology is and like how advanced things are, you would think that it wouldn't be that difficult for options to be there. Um, but it's just a matter of prioritizing things, because like if glitches like these are happening, it's because there's clearly kind of a crunch type system going on where they're just prioritizing like game breaking things, right? They're like, as long as the game is playable from beginning to end, it doesn't matter how shitty it looks sometimes or if the music cuts out and all that stuff. So if they're not making time to fix like issues with the game, they're probably not taking the time to consult with the accessibility consultants and stuff like that to make their game more inclusive or more welcoming for everyone. So it sucks. I wish that in the industry it was more normalized for bigger time frames to be a thing, for people to have more time to work on games. Um, I don't know. It just sucks. It just sucks for everyone involved, because people working on this game now have their name in the credits of a game that people are like kind of shitting on. Then you have the gamers who got the game and they were excited and they were disappointed then when they played the game. People who had the fucking seizures. So it's just not good for anyone involved. And I wish that the people with the power to make decisions where people don't feel like they have to rush to make this game or feel like they have to ignore certain issues with the game, that they have the environment to actually make the changes that need to be made before a game comes out, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. 'Cause they definitely could have waited another month, but I mean, unfortunately, it is what it is. I mean, the last thing I guess I'll say on it is when it comes to it, avoid the Switch version. As for PlayStation and Xbox, the last gen, I know Digital Foundry have a video up that shows the how they perform and whatnot. So I mean, that's up to you if how frame rates and whatnot, if it drops and how you feel about that. I know a lot of people on console don't. But if you're playing it on one of the newer Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, you'll be fine. But it's just that unfortunately the Switch is the worst of it, and I know a lot of people did want to get on that because I would have liked to. I honestly probably would have bought it just to play it on the go because Sonic Colors is a very fun game, but I'm saving that for something else like Cruis'n Blast.
Ooh. Cruising and blasting. Sorry. Well, that's kind of it for as far as like news stories go, but we do have a big juicy thing that happened this week and we did react to it. It was the PlayStation showcase earlier this week, a couple days ago, in fact. And we're not going to go through every single thing that was announced because that's just not how we go about it. We can each talk about our own like highlights and things like that. So yeah, I guess we can go down the line. So Dex, what did you think?
I thought it was like overall I thought it was overall like eventful, but like not for me, if that makes sense. Like I felt like they did announce like a lot that like I know a lot of people are liking and enjoying and excited for, but it's just like not a lot of it very like applied to something I'd enjoy. So like just like a quick rundown, like God of War Ragnarok seems interesting. Thor, I'm available on Tuesdays, but I didn't like how the game was going in the trailer. Like, I know in the first one, the son Atreus really irritated me from when I was like watching, like when I watched most of the game. But it just seems like it's getting worse with the relationship between Kratos and Atreus because like Atreus is like a teenager now. And having like 40, 50-year-old writers writing teenagers going through their rebellious phase is never great at all. So like I know that this game is probably going to be rough. So she's sitting on the back burner. Marvel Spider-Man 2 seems neat. I'm excited to see Venom. I am still kind of like really confused with like Venom's character, but like hopefully like I'll get that cleared up one day.
One day.
One day. Wolverine, nothing else needs to be said. Excited for her. The game that looks like it would tie us over into Bayonetta, the hack and slash Project Eve seemed cute. She was serving. We love to see her. Tiny Tina's was a serve. Forspoken seemed like it was just gonna have a really fun story because like I feel like for the most part I really like when just like a regular person gets like thrown into like another world. And then happy that PC and PS5 people can get Uncharted. Even though I don't like the male Tomb Raider games, and I'll just say that. Alan Wake is getting remastered, so I'm excited to see that. The game Chia was definitely really cute. And then we finally got to see the trailer for new Ghostwire Tokyo, so that was really good. So we actually like, get to see what it is now. But I think, yeah, that was it. Deathloop, finally we got, I'd assume the last trailer because it is coming out in 3 days' time. So good for them. It seems like a game I'd enjoy, but also it's Bethesda, so it's not going to be a game I enjoy, if you know what I mean. So hopefully we get to see more news soon. How about you, Koga?
There was quite a few things that I did like, but I don't have a PlayStation 5, and that's a pain in the ass to get, so that makes it a little bit difficult for some of them. All right, so for God of War Ragnarok, I'm looking forward to that. I still need to finish the first one, but I have to get another PlayStation console. Um, I do like the newer ones. I just kind of wish they did make it like third person over the shoulder, but I still think it's still good. So I'll definitely look forward to trying out finishing the first one and trying out Ragnarok. Marvel Spider-Man 2, of course, because I don't have a PlayStation, I haven't even been able to play the other ones. I definitely wanted to play this one. I'm curious on how they're gonna handle Venom. Like, is he gonna be on your team? Is he gonna be against you? Because I know, like, he wasn't the person talking in the trailer. It was actually apparently Craven who was talking. So I'm like, I would like to be able to play as Venom as well, but who knows? I wouldn't get my hopes too high on that. You might just end up fighting him at some point, and maybe he'll team up with you. It's kind of how that happens at times. Then we have the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. Luckily that it is still coming to like PC, but I guess maybe later. I know it's at least timed exclusive on PS5 because money.
Because Sony
I
said
did
hi.
hate you, Sony, I swear. But I definitely do want to try that. I played the second one like back on like Xbox, and I had a lot of fun playing that one. And that was my first BioWare game, and I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Of course, Marvel's Wolverine I'm excited about because Marvel, Wolverine, and it's made by the same people who made Spider-Man games. So those seem to be doing well. So this just kind of seems like it's gonna be like a thumbs up for me regardless. Let's see, just had to go through this whole list. There was so much.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah. Uncharted. I mean, I guess it's neat that 4 and what was it? Lost Legacy is coming to PC, but you didn't put the other ones. So it's 4. Like, does 4 have like a recap of what happened, or are we just going in and like, all right, so this is like the end?
There is no recap. There's like you kind of get a story on like how he got to where he was, like when he was a kid. There's like flashbacks, but that has nothing to do with the other 3 games, unfortunately.
Well,
Neat. Thank you, Sony. Once again.
love that. Love that.
Alan Wake getting a remastered, which so it's unfortunately this is one of the many games that are in my backlog that I haven't gotten around to. So I mean that's kind of a good thing now, I guess, because now I can just play this one instead.
Now you just wait for the remaster.
I hate when that happens. Like, you have a game on your backlog so long that an HD version comes out and you're like, well, fuck.
Well, play that one.
Oh god.
Then I see, was it Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS5 and Xbox got delayed. I'm not excited for that, but I do find that funny that got delayed and they're just going to release that again. I mean, people complain about it, but it's selling enough, so yeah. Sure, I guess. But
right.
Like, did we really need another trailer? Like, what was new? What was to that was new that's not really in every other version already?
Nothing.
I think it's just the online that gets updates, right?
Yeah, it's like they've just been kept releasing it, but it's literally just like anytime you see like a new update, it's literally just like DLC to the online. Like that's it. Like that's the only content they ever add.
Oh goodness. Gran Turismo 7. I not the biggest fan of like simulation racing games, but I do kind of like these a little bit. I mean, yeah, because a big reason is because they look really, really pretty. I'm not gonna act like so I bought the previous one, Sport, because 1, it was pretty. I got a PlayStation 4 Pro. I got a 4K TV at the time, and then they had the VR mode. That mode actually kind of sucked. But
oh well.
I know this is coming out on PS4 and PS5, so I'm interested in seeing how that plays and whatnot. Because I used to play like the ones on like the original PlayStation, and they were still pretty good. But I mean, it'll look pretty at least. And see. Ghostwire Tokyo. I want to play that. I think that's PlayStation exclusive, isn't it?
I think so.
I think.
Allegedly.
And then there's Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. It's okay. It's not something I'm like. It's like not the highest of priorities, but sure. And that's probably about it. I mean, I don't know. We've got another Deathloop launch trailer, which I thought was just funny. I'm like, that's probably been at more of these conferences than any other game in history.
Yeah.
Right.
During our reactions, which you can watch on our YouTube channel, wink wonk, we actually did comment on the fact that we've seen this game so much that it almost seems like I said that it seems like a marketing thing because, death loop, like we're seeing it all over and over again. And I hate it. um,
Mm.
but yeah, for me, like I will say, like I will preface this with, I think it was a very eventful like showcase. With that being said, it still wasn't a showcase that made me want to stop everything, save up for a PS5, and say that I need to play that one specific game the second it comes out, right? And that's not anything against the games themselves. It's more like I'm probably not the target audience for most of these. Um, so for me, like definitely one of the big highlights is Spider-Man because it's a game that I've always had my eye on from the PS4 era, but superheroes are never my priority, so it keeps going on the back of the backlog. So I'm like, I'll get to it one day. I'll get to it one day. And the day will come. Probably at this point I'm not going to buy it on PS4, so I might as well just wait until eventually I have a PS5 and then I just play all three of the Spider-Man games. Um,
Yeah, because they're gonna make you pay for that upgrade, or make you
right.
buy it again.
So I might as well just wait and get everything on PS5 at some point, discounted probably by then. But it looks really cool. Like I think the Spider-Man games have like such amazing graphics, and I think they truly showcase how cool games can be on the PS5. Um, and on that same note, I'm actually excited for Wolverine, because I think like Koga said, it's a recipe for success. Having Insomniac and Marvel partner up and make another game is just a really good recipe. Not for fans of maybe Insomniac's other franchises. They're probably like, well, shit, they're now a Marvel machine. They don't make
Yeah,
anything else. But
nothing else.
I don't. I kind of don't mind it. They're
You
gonna
need,
do what makes them money. At the end of the day, whatever keeps them floating. Um, I would say my biggest takeaway from this was Project Eve. The I literally was so excited because I thought for a second it was Bayonetta, but it
We
wasn't
thought the
Bayonetta.
girl was Bayonetta for a second.
I
Cause
was
like
crying that
Yeah, I
y'all
did
were
too.
thinking that. I was like, not in a Sony
I
showcase, y'all thought
know.
we
We were
had
clown. We put the clown makeup on
my
that day.
the thing that I
I just
thought
had
was like,
fun.
so this like immediately I saw from the back, girly, long legs, huge fucking hair. I was like, so this is why it's taken so long. Maybe like Sony bought them out or something like that. I thought for some reason I was like, so this is why it took so long. Turns out Bayonetta 3 still in development.
Sony bought them
Yeah.
underground.
But yeah, it looks really neat. I think it's definitely like Bayonetta meets like Final
Parasite.
Fantasy meets like Devil May Cry. Like it's definitely like futuristic, really cool. Um, Again, I'll probably get to it someday. It's not a game that I'm like, yeah, I need to pre-order a PS, not pre-order. I need to buy a PS5 right now. Let me turn on all the alerts for all the things and hopefully get it. Like probably not. I'll get it one day. I don't even know if it's gonna come on other platforms either. So maybe I'll even play it on PC. Who knows? Um, Other than that, oh, Forspoken looked cool. I agree. I love that the concept of throwing a regular person into a fantasy environment because then it's easier for us to relate to a character and you don't have to make the character like bland or boring. It's more like, as you're going through what we call the tutorial stages, like it's literally the character learning about the world. So for you, it doesn't take you out of the experience.
Hmm.
I kind of, it is kind of a cliche, but I do like that element. Like it's very reminiscent of like when Final Fantasy X had Titus be the girly that was like plucked from something and brought into like a different time frame for all intents and purposes. And he learns about the culture as you go through the game, and that's perfect for you as the person playing the game because you're obviously also getting introduced to it. So I love that narrative design. But that's kind of it for me. I don't really have a relationship with a lot of the other franchises. that were shown or things like that. I'm like happy for them that they're getting another trailer or another thing. But I'm interested. I'm curious about Ghostwire Tokyo, not because looking at the trailers I'm interested in it, but because I didn't realize how big the game was, like how hype people were for the game. Like when the showcase came out and I kind of saw, like I scrolled through social media and I saw other people's reactions, I was like, damn, people are really into this game. And I didn't realize. I thought it was kind of like a niche title or whatever, but a lot of people are very interested and like excited for it. So I'm curious just because of that alone. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But that's kind of it for me as far as like my personal highlights. What about you, Spin?
Yeah. I sorry, just turning down my light because I so pale. Uh, I wanted to talk about some of like the I guess kind of like smaller announcements or like things that have already been announced because I was that's more like the stuff I'm gonna play. Like I'm really excited for Chia. Um we have seen it before, but I was excited to see more of it. There's a part where you pet a little crab and you
Yes.
become the little crab. And you play a little ukulele. It looks really cute. I'm
It
so
does.
excited for that game. I definitely absolutely want to play that game. Um, the thing about Deathloop is I do want to play the game. Like when we first saw like the trailer for it, I was interested in it. I do want to play this game, but it's not one that I'm just like, oh, I need to play it like right on release. I need to like wait up until midnight 3 days from now and get this game. And
Right.
I am kind of sick of seeing it. Like we've seen so many trailers for it. I basically feel like I've played the game already. So I feel like that's one that I'm gonna play eventually, but not like right now. I'm gonna wait till I forget all of the details from the trailers and then play it.
Right.
So I don't know when that will be, but it'll be sometime. Um, I'm really excited for the new Alan Wake remaster. I didn't play the original. I've been wanting to play the original, but I do. What I usually do is I don't necessarily like have a lot of like games in my backlog. I pretty much like am like I'm gonna play this game and then I buy the game. So I'm so glad that I waited because now I want to do the remaster. I'm so glad I waited because like
Right.
I'm always like I want to play this game, but let me wait to buy it. And I'm glad I had that instinct for this one. So I'm just gonna get the remaster. Hopefully I can get a PS5 at some point. I do want to. I would like to have a PS5 at some point.
Same.
Um, I too would love to see the graphics on the PS5. Um, I got okay. Listen,
Uh,
I
I'm
know
scared.
I know we fully put our clown makeup on for Project Eve. We
Yes.
we did the we did the clown makeup. I also did the clown makeup. For a second, I just saw like her hair and her butt, and I was like Bayonetta.
Right.
That's what I thought.
But no, she's not Bayonetta, but she's iconic in her own right. So I'm
She
super excited
is.
for that game too.
Absolutely.
I love like I love like the concept of like fan service taken to the level of camp. Like
Yes.
where it's for the gays now. Like
Yes.
right. Yeah.
like it's not like appealing for straight men anymore. It's for the gays.
Well, I would say that her skin tight, glossy ass is still, appealing to the
Appeal.
straights.
It's the thing that's appealing to the
Yeah.
straights and the gays.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh,
It's not like
She
it's gone past the point of obvious. It's like
Mhm.
it's like they're not trying to be subtle about it, and I love that. It's like go all
I love
out.
that too.
Yes.
I'm just like, yes. Just fan service to the point of camp always gets me. Uh,
Absolutely.
so I do want to play that game. Absolutely. As far as like the like bigger announcements, like Spider-Man 2, I'm just like, cool. I I'm just like, I'm not gonna play it, but I'm excited for everybody else who is. Like, cool.
Yeah.
And like with the new God of War, literally the only reason I am like super excited for this game is because it's making racists and fat phobes mad. Because there's a
Right.
black Viking character and a fat Thor, and I'm just like,
Literally.
I wasn't that invested in this game, but if it's gonna make y'all mad, I'm gonna be very
Right.
invested
I'm
in
super invested now. I logged on
it.
Twitter after the announcement and I was like, you know what? Stay on this game.
Mhm. And also, Fat Thor, I am free on Wednesdays, so you can come visit me after Dex, maybe.
Literally. They said he's gonna be an antagonist, but he can antagonize this pussy mama.
This is the game's coverage you crave. This is the game's
Right.
coverage you want.
I love it here.
I love it here
This is
too.
why I didn't want to leave. I told y'all.
I'm screaming, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. I'm just like, as far as like the big announcements go, I'm just like, good for y'all. I love that for you.
Mhm.
But I'm just like, I want to be the crab. I want to play Chia.
Well, with a little flower.
With a little flower, a little crab with a little flower.
I have to ask, was there something that y'all wished was, or you wished or expected to be at the showcase and it wasn't anywhere to be seen?
Yes,
PlayStation
Slim.
5s.
Oh yeah, everyone responds at the same time. The one time nobody, no one waits a turn.
Yeah, it was weird that like we like I was thinking like maybe we're not putting our clown makeup on for this one. Like it could be a thing. Like it's been about a year since the release, and it's like maybe, but no mention of it. Nothing.
Of what exactly? Because I literally couldn't hear what any y'all said because y'all spoke at the same time. So I'm like,
PS5 Slim
oh, okay.
Not Slim.
or like a new model of PS5 basically.
I'm just crying that I'm like the only girly that doesn't go in with expectations every time. I just like I have no idea what's being shown. I'm just here to react. So then that's just how I go through it. I'm like, oh wait, that's here. Because I don't know what the fuck's going on in the gaming industry until they show it to my eyeballs during these presentations. So that's all I'll ever know.
I like the drama.
That's how we should be.
I mean,
Right.
that's the healthy way of approaching situations like this. But I like the drama of like people being like, oh, there's rumors that this is going to be there and this could potentially also be there. And I like the drama. I don't go into it expecting it because I'm not that much of a clown anymore. Still a clown, just, you know, the makeup is like
Not
less
adequate.
coverage, you know?
Patchy.
Not patchy. It's just less layers, you know, less layers of clown makeup. More of a natural look. But no, I didn't really. I kind of expected like them to say something about the revised PlayStation 5 that has been kind of talked about, but they probably don't want to talk about a console that is not easily accessible, considering the chips and all the things are still very hard to get for them to even manufacture a lot of consoles. But yeah, it was pretty like there was nothing that it came out of it and I was like, oh, they didn't like mention that. Like there was nothing that I can really think of that I would expect, or I mean, except for like a Sailor Moon game. At this point, I'm like, any conference at this point, give me a fucking Sailor Moon game. I will keep talking about it until eventually one day we come back and I have tears on my eyes and I'm like, we did it. We manifested.
That's the one thing that we've tried to manifest that hasn't happened yet.
I've been
Literally.
campaigning hardcore for this fucking game.
I know.
Well,
It's gonna be like years from now, and you're gonna be like, I did it. I called this.
not years from now. You take that back right now.
Weird.
We're just
I
gonna
take it
be
back.
old.
No.
No.
If it's coming out whenever I'm old, then oh my god, we still have so many decades ahead of us. Oh.
Anyway,
So young.
Oh wow. Anyway, well, what have we been playing?
You tell me, bitch.
Oh,
You start.
Alright, let's do it. I in my off-stream moments, I've been doing a lot of Genshin. I'm back in
Ooh,
Genshin.
oh wow.
iconic.
I'm building up my girly Beto. She's my girly. I love her. She's got electricity and a really big sword, and she's cool, and she's a pirate, and I like her.
Ooh, is Aloy still like
And so
is
I'm
she a
trying to like
thing?
kind of build a team around her. I don't know. I haven't really paid attention because like I'm not that interested in getting her.
I mean, you probably would know if she was a thing because you would get a message. So I don't think she's a
Hmm.
thing on PC yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in the banners, so I don't know.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to be like leveling up all my girlies again and like making progress, actually doing things in Genshin after being stuck for like 6 months. But it's been fun. I've been just like leveling up all the girlies, running around, beating bosses, doing things, you know.
Is there like a lot of
Um,
content
and
since
then
like you last logged in, like a lot of like story and stuff like that?
I haven't even started to touch that yet. I'm just leveling
Oh,
up right now. I haven't even started. It's gonna take me forever.
oh my
But
God.
I am so behind.
That's
But it's okay
good. Yeah.
because it's a single player game. There's a lot of content there for me when I get to it. It's gonna be a while, but I'm gonna get to it
Something to
eventually.
work towards, you know?
Exactly, exactly.
We love to see
Yeah.
it.
Right now I'm just like unfucking my game. Just very slowly but surely, just like undoing the damage that I did.
Why did you fuck your game?
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. It was an
How do you
accident.
fuck a digital thing?
Nah.
Well, uh,
I know. So what I've been playing. Just kidding. Is that all?
yeah, this pretty much all I've been doing in my off-stream time. On stream, yesterday I played a visual novel called To Be With You, and it was no spoilies, but it was a very emotional experience. I was like, there was kind of a funny thing where I kept accidentally like right clicking and like bringing up the menu, but it's because my hands were shaking so much because
Hey.
it made me like that emotional.
Yeah.
It was such a it was very heavy experience. Definitely not for everybody, but like such a good experience.
Do you want to give kind of a rundown to the people watching
Yeah.
and listening who may be unaware of Cheritomo's amazing game?
Yeah, it was a visual novel created by Cheritomo here on Twitch, and it is a psychological horror game about a toxic relationship. So basically, um, you're just like a girl, you're just like moving in with her long distance boyfriend after like being like long distance for a while, and then he like slowly throughout the game becomes more and more like emotionally abusive and like gaslighting towards her. And it's just like the way that the game is designed to like really put you in that situation and like strip you away of your choices was like it was like so it really like puts you in that mindset, and that it was a really amazing experience but like really difficult to go through. But like just like the way every little bit of it was thought out so much was so incredible. I really it definitely, if you're in an emotional space where you can handle a game like that, like absolutely recommend it.
Yeah. And the game does have the proper
Yes.
like content warnings in the storefronts.
Hmm.
So that you know what you're getting yourself into. Some game studios can't relate to that concept.
Right.
But we wouldn't
It's
expect
it's
anything less from
definitely
Kara.
right. I'm so glad that like all of like the proper content warnings were just right there in the storefront, and I can just like let my community know and like know what I'm getting into, and it made the process a whole lot smoother.
Iconic.
Because normally I end up having to like research stuff, and then I like run into spoilers, and because people don't make the content warnings accessible, so I have to do it myself. I was
Yeah.
really glad that it was easy for this game. I could just like take it from the storefront and be like, boop, this is all
Yeah.
the things.
I definitely can't relate to that experience
Oh,
because I started playing Life is Strange True Colors. Just, prefacing this, Square Enix did provide me with a code to play the game on stream. However, that will not in any way, shape, or form influence my thoughts, feelings, and concerns about this game. Honestly, the main one so far, and literally, I don't think I have any other concerns. And I'm only in chapter 1. I just beat it on stream yesterday. It's that the content warnings, it was basically like an Easter egg hunt. They like you go on the game's website and they tell you to go on the ESRB ratings, which are vague as fuck. And then I had teammates of mine from the Rainbow Arcade on the Discord telling, like, because they played it the day it came out on Thursday and I only played it on Friday, and they were telling us like, hey, content warning for this, content warning for that. And it's some of it is kind of spoilery, that's why I'm not really saying and getting too much into it. But I do wish that the game was more upfront about the themes that you get into, because the main premise of Life is Strange True Colors is that you're Alex, you're basically coming from the foster system, reuniting with your brother in like 8 years, I think, something like that, into a new town. She's moving to a new place. There's a male and a female love interest that you can, get into. For everyone watching my streams, y'all know exactly who I'm gunning for. Maybe we'll see.
really?
Maybe I'll.
Because you kind of had a crush on every man you've seen.
Well, at some point I did wish I wasn't playing as Alex, because I did want to get it on with her brother, but I couldn't because I'm playing as her, obviously. So I was like, can I change characters so I can like get with him? Anyway, but a lot of attractive people in the game. But yeah, her superpower, because every Life is Strange protagonist has a superpower, and hers is the power to be an extreme empath. So basically, when someone is feeling a very strong emotion, she sees it visually with like a color, and then, true colors. She sees it visually with a specific color associated with it, and then she can tap into it and actually feel the emotions herself, so she can help those people through their emotions, which is very cool, actually, because like there's like a big event that happens in chapter 1, and you can actually tap into someone's like fear, and you see the world from their perspective, and you see like why they're so afraid, and you can feel their fear. It's really cool. It's definitely one of those games that you definitely need to be emotionally prepared for it, because Life is Strange comes with a side of trauma and content warnings. There's definitely, I mean, off the top of my head, there's alcohol usage, there's death as a theme in it, there's depictions or references to suicide and stuff like that. So like, just be aware that it's a lot. And I'm only in chapter 1, so God knows what else is there. No spoilers. I will behead you if you spoil me. Death to anyone sharing spoilers.
Content warning for the beheading you will receive if you spoil the game.
I won't do it on camera. Jeez. Kidding. For all intents and purposes, it's a joke. Oh my god.
We're goofing.
So funny.
FBI man in the computer. We're just goofing.
We're just goofing. FBI agents watching. No, please. It's fine. That's pretty much it as far as like my gaming experiences recently. So yeah, what about you, Koga?
Let's see, quite a bit. So I've been playing Dokkan, of course. The worldwide celebration is going on, which is, of course, where Global and JP celebrate at the same time. It's the second best celebration, but I hate when it happens for Global because
Well.
for JP they have the anniversary, which is usually like end of January, and then the worldwide celebration, which happens now. You know when we get it on Global? We get it within a month. So if you used all your stones to try to summon, have fun saving up for this one. And I have spent 1,400 stones trying to get one of the new units. I don't have them yet.
Oh no!
And I pulled everything else on the banner, but I have them all already. Like, I mean, it's good because if the more you choose, like you pull them, then you can level them up on it. That's how some of these games are. It's like you gotta pull them multiple times to get like the best stats and all that. But it's like that's not really what I want. I want the new units, and it just maybe I've been playing this game for too long, where it's just to the point where it's like new banner comes out, so I have everything except this one. Let's try my luck.
Well,
And it went pretty bad. So
aw.
I still have a few weeks, so we'll see. But outside of that, it's actually been like a really good celebration. A lot of free stuff, free units, older units getting better. But this is definitely a shaft for me. I also finally finished Yakuza 5. Look, I get it. A lot of
Ooh.
people like that one, and I think the game is good. But I'm never playing this game ever again. Ever again. Because it's too much. It's very ambitious. It's a lot happening. So I'm not gonna say it's a bad game, but I'm not a person who likes it to where you start me with one character and then you get to this point and I'm like, oh this is good, and then you start with another character. You got to build up to that point. Then you keep doing that like 4 to 5 times, and it's just the story was just kind of like all over the place. And by the time we got to the end, I'm like, I mean, I don't whatever, I guess. And it's just a lot happening, but it's the longest Yakuza game like ever. So there's a lot happening. So if you want a lot of content, that is definitely there. It's just that it's not my taste. It just seems like with it being you switching from characters like that, it's a bit unfocused for me. But a lot of people still like it. I'm just not one of the ones. So I can't go back and do all that. I still think the second part of the game is like the worst. Like I think that's been like thing that a lot of people can agree on is that is the worst. If you don't like rhythm games, part of the third one ain't gonna be that great either. Yeah, the third part is like part of it is a rhythm game because you're playing as Haruka, and she wants to become an idol. So with that being the case, you have to press the buttons when it tells you to press it for the music parts. I don't have an issue with that.
I'm actually very excited for that.
Right.
Yeah, if you like rhythm games, that part is cool. You go through like the side missions of the things that you kind of like have to deal with as an idol and things like that, and it's good. So like I said, the game is good. It's just that for me, that's too much going from here to here. And I'm gonna be honest, one of those characters I don't even feel needed to be there. But in terms of overall, just how much the game has to do, it's a lot. It's a lot. They were really trying to do something a bit more with this one, so it's not a bad game. It's just not my take. But because I was thinking that I took a 2 months off. I thought it was like Yakuza, maybe Burnout. I've been playing these games since like October, November of last year. So I've been playing for a year. So I started Yakuza 6. It's not Burnout. I just couldn't stand going through all these different stories. So I like this one a lot more so far. And I've been playing that quite a bit. I started playing Sound Voltex again after a few weeks. They released like 20 more songs for this month. They also started so there's like a new version of the game in arcades, and every month they just seem to, I guess, put one on the PC version, which I'm sure I'm fine with that. They're having a sale for some reason. I'm not going to complain about this. This upcoming Tuesday for like 2 of their song packs. I'm going to get that because these packs are kind of expensive. They're like 30 songs per pack, $60 per pack. I'll wait for a sale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's something else I'm trying to remember because it's been like quite a few weeks since I've been here. So
You're like, what did I play?
yeah. I know I finished Marvel Avengers and that whole the Wakanda story. Yeah, this game is definitely just gonna stick as if you give me a free update, I'll play the story and then I'm gonna uninstall it again. because
Yeah.
outside of that, everything else is just whatever. Well, of course, I've been playing Sonic Colors Ultimate on PC, which, as I said before, has just been wonderful. It's been amazing.
I love that for
me.
you.
Yeah, it's great for me, but it's just bad if you're on a Switch.
Everyone else, sorry, flop.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the best way to put it, unfortunately. I think that's actually about it that I've played over the past few weeks. Because playing Yakuza 5 took like a lot of time. I think it took me at least like 40 hours. And that's without me doing much of the side stuff. The side stuff, if you do all that, it could take maybe 80 to 100 hours.
Damn.
So that took up a lot of my time. So yeah. What about you, Dex? What you been up to?
Oh God, I actually haven't been playing much the past couple of weeks because I've been like dabbling in AQ Worlds, but like that was about it. I was thinking of getting back into like trying to do Need for Speed Pro Street on my PS2 because like I said I tried it and then it just didn't go well, so I like put it back down. But I was like, maybe I'll like start it again. But then out of nowhere, my plasma TV just gave out. So I have to get an HDMI cord or something for my PS2. So she's on hold. But I have been, although like my laptop can barely handle it, I have finally tried to get into the GTA RP scene. So I was having fun with that the other night. I was there for like 2 seconds, but I was like thriving because like I joined the server where all the people I've been watching for like a month have been. So it was like a nice little moment to like meet like one of them before like my mic broke. But even then, like it was it was fun. Yeah, like I pressed like one button prompt in the game and it just like prevented my microphone from working for the entire session for whatever reason. So that was odd. But I'm excited to like try that even though I like get like 5 frames per second or something. She chugs, but I'm desperate to play this. But yeah, it's just been like me trying to play that, a little bit of AQ Worlds. I would open Watch Dogs Legion, get to like the main menu, and then I stare at it and then I close it. Like I really want to play it, but I just feel like I don't want to play it now. So like every time I open it, I'm like, do I want to play it? And then I just end up closing it. But like that's all I've really been doing for the past few weeks.
Iconic in every way. Let us know what y'all have been playing, what y'all have been doing. We would love to hear about that. If you made it this far, click that follow button, that subscribe button, whatever button you see that is free to click or not free, give us money if you want. But click on all the buttons, the like button, the follow button, the subscribe button, all that fun stuff. I think you can also give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you want, and that would really help us out because algorithms,
On Yelp.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. This is kind of off topic, but did you ever like look up Yelp reviews of places that you've worked?
I haven't.
No,
actually.
I want to do that now.
You?
I want to.
I only ever saw the reviews when I would look up my location. Like when I looked up like the location I worked at, I would see like the first 3 reviews and reviews.
Yeah.
And they were always such like a cycle to go through.
I never thought about doing that. And that sounds like a great idea.
Now we know what you're gonna do after the podcast.
I'm gonna be rendering the podcast as I'm like, no, they didn't. I'll scroll until like 2016 or something, and I'm like, what are they saying?
I literally used to do that and like look and see, because sometimes people would be like, the girl, boy, he, she, it behind the counter was really nice to me.
Not the girl, boy, he, she, it.
What?
Anyways, speaking of finding reviews, where can you all find us on social media platforms?
Oh my God.
Do you want to start us off, Dax?
Yes, I would love to start us off. You can find me at Twitter at Best, and you can find me at Twitch and YouTube at Delicious, streaming art randomly whenever I feel like it. Maybe do like a literal like 1,000-piece puzzle sometime. We'll see. And that's
God.
literally it. Yeah. So like I'm gonna do that one day.
That would be
How
fierce.
about you, Koga?
You can find me at. Oh my goodness. Koga underscore.
Do you know where we can find you?
No, you can't find me at all. Leave me alone.
Ooh, so
you can find me
mysterious.
at Koga_Jangles at Twitter and Twitch. I want to start again up this week. I mean, unfortunately, Twitch is still having their issues, but it's like whatever. Blah, blah. So, because I do want to play like Cruisin' Blast up this upcoming Tuesday or Wednesday when that comes out. But I also kind of want to go through the old ones. But I'm waiting on this Nintendo 64 controller to hit me later today.
Ooh.
But yeah, so I'll probably be starting again this week and hoping my chat doesn't get flooded.
Well, we can help you moderate if you need a sword. I got you.
Let us know.
Thank you.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Twitch do something
always
about
down
it
to-
now.
We're always down to zap some bots.
Right.
We got you.
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
many bots is it?
Oh,
Like
And the-
millions at this point.
yeah. Yeah.
My block list is like a few million deep right now.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you can find me also on the internet. I'm at Project Ruby on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch as well with that same handle. You can support me on Ko-Fi as well. That's where I upload content early in exchange for your money. And that's kind of it. Oh yeah, tomorrow I have a new podcast episode
Yes.
with the one and only Kata Palooza. Super excited to talk to her. It's gonna be fun. And that's pretty much it for me. What about you, Speen?
Iconic. Well, you can find me in your local Whole Foods. No, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok, all at SpinBlend. You can go to a fun little place called spinsoapcafe.com.
Ooh.
And if you go there, you will see the returning pumpkin spice latte bar back in stock because it's pumpkin spice latte season, because it's Halloween.
Mhm.
You can also find me on YouTube at LinBlend, where I upload every week.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
You don't have to imagine that. You can actually go to our description and click on the fucking links. Bitch.
'Cause it's
No, I'm just
real.
kidding. You're not a bitch, I promise.
To our viewers like that.
Where the weird antagonistic energy is coming out of the studio directly into your ear holes, directly into your homes and your hearts.
You know,
We gotta go.
we're just besties like that. That's how you talk to your besties, right?
I know what you mean. I
Byword.
talk to my besties with the highest, most form of RESPECT.
yeah, wow.
Well, and with that,
Oh my
we're gonna
God.
go.
We gotta go.
See y'all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bitch. I'm just kidding.